I'm working on this piece. I've started it in other videos, which you'll see eventually. This gorgeous woman for an exhibit, like I said, next year. I'm not the fastest painter, but once I know where I want to go with something, and I'm still figuring this one, still kind of figuring this one out, where I want to go with it. But I'm finding my way, and anyway. Not talking about this. I just want to talk a little bit about something I've been thinking a lot about. I've told this story before, like when doing programs. This was way back when I was doing Gullah Gullah Island. And I was at the pool with my youngest child. And, it was time for him to get out. We were in Florida, actually. We were down in Orlando. We were filming. We were still filming Gullah Gullah Island at the time. And we would stay in these condos with these pools, and my son loved the pool. So we're there one day, and it was time for him to get out the pool. And my son, get out the pool. And he just stayed in the pool. My son, get out the pool. And he ignored me. It's like, Simeon, get out the pool. And he just was like acting like I wasn't talking to him. And finally I was like, I said, get out the pool. Get out the pool. And there was this little boy who was at the pool, and he'd been watching this interaction. And he looked at me and he said, "You're so nice on TV." And I was like, yeah, well, And when I put some bass in my voice, my son got out the pool. He just wasn't gonna do it before then. He just wasn't listening to me. He didn't care that I wanted him to get out the pool. He didn't care what I had to do. He was a little boy. He wanted to hang out in the pool. But I remember that little kid and his little face at the pool, like, "But you're so nice on TV." I was like, "Yeah." I'm at home. I'm like, "Yeah, but see, on TV there are script writers. There were like 12 script writers by that time, and the kids on TV do what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it, and if not, we could do a second take or third or fourth. But here it was real life, and yeah, I was really nice on TV because on TV, if I had said get out the pool, he would have gotten out the pool. All that to say, we have so many sides to who we are. And the fact that I had to, or I felt like I had to raise my voice to get my son out the pool didn't mean that I was a horrible mother. It meant that the boy wasn't going to get out the pool until he felt like, oh, she's real serious about this. And then he got out the pool. I'm not perfect. I'm not a person, not a perfect mother. I am not a perfect mother. I'm not a perfect wife. I'm not a perfect daughter. I do my best. Sometimes my best comes up short. And so I think about that. I think about stuff long after it stops being like the topic. Because I don't like to rush to judgment on anything. And, you can change your mind. But I just know how often I feel as a parent that I was, less than I could have been, should have been, or just human. I mean, at one point, I got so upset with my son that I grabbed him and my father pulled me off of him. And my father sent me, a grown woman, to my room. He said, "Nat, go to your room." And my son was like, praise God, we have a wonderful relationship now. And we did then too. It was just a normal one, When my son, for example, was going through his teen years, there were some real challenges. There were some, rough stuff, and we all survived it, and with mutual respect. And I do have to say that no matter how hard it got, we respected each other, but it got hard sometimes. It got hard sometimes, and I, who is so nice on TV, have a temper. I have a temper. It's very rare that I lose it. Very rare, but I do lose it. I have lost it. Um, Certainly on more than one occasion. Um, and generally, when I do lose it, I am surprised. And my children are like, I don't know why you surprised, Mama. We're not surprised. 'Cause, I try so hard to not, to like be like go with the flow all the time and be like really cool. But there are moments when I just don't, when I just can't, or maybe I could, but that second before you lose it, you don't catch yourself. And then it's like, well, there she go. There she go. Mama's gonna blow. Uh, um, yeah, I there was one time, and this is when we were shooting. We were shooting Gullah Gullah Island. We were in Beaufort, shooting because we did a lot of shooting in our home community of Beaufort, and I'd gone in to take a shower. We were on our way out to meet with the wardrobe people for something for a local shoot, and I'd gone in to take a shower. My children then were they were little. My youngest, I don't know if he might have been 2. Which puts my oldest at 5 maybe, and maybe a little older. I went in the shower. I was in there for, I swear, just minutes. And when I came out, I looked for my rings. I had taken off my rings and put them on the sink, and there were no rings. I'm like, where are my rings? Where are my rings? Couldn't find the rings. And it seems that while I was in the shower, my son had just walked in the bathroom, saw my rings, and took them. It's like, where are my rings? You don't know. But it turns out that because he was a sharing and loved his sister, he gave one of the rings as a gift to his sister, who gave it to me. Mommy, this is your ring. It took me a long time to find the other ring, which was in his toy box, which we found later in his toy box. But I remember being in the car on the way to the appointment with the wardrobe person, and I was so frustrated, and I was like, I don't ask for a lot. I don't ask for a lot. I don't ask for a lot. I just want to take a shower. I was just, and my children to this day, every now and then be like, I don't ask for a lot. I don't ask. So, hey, my children did not feel unsafe. Praise be. But, man, I'm real grateful, like, at that moment that nobody had anything to be watch me in the car screaming, I don't ask for a lot. That would have made a real fun video, because I'm so nice on TV. So, I'm not making excuses for anybody. I'm just saying that I'm grateful not to be defined by my worst moments. People will do this thing where they're like, well, I thought I knew who they were. Now I know who they really are. It's like, but you knew who I really was. We had this wonderful, long, loving interaction. You knew who I really was. But now you also know that I can be and this. And I don't believe I ever put my children in danger. I do know that there's been more than one time that I've apologized to them. And that's a lesson I learned from my father. I remember my father, who was the calmest man, losing it on a car trip. Because my brothers and I were probably messing around in the back seat. He touched me, move over, it's on my side. And we were taking a long car trip, and he just reached out, stop it! Reached back and started flailing. He didn't actually make any contact, but he lost it. And we were shocked because my father was the calmest of men. And then we drove on for a little bit, and we were real quiet. We were like just mice in the back seat. And he turned around and said, I'm sorry. And I never will forget that, because I didn't know grown-ups could apologize to children. But my father, he did. And I have throughout my children's life when I, catch myself and aware of being hurtful, I've apologized to them. Because they were always human beings, they were always humans. They were never, children are not less human than adults, every bit as human. They're here as human beings sharing this world, and they're dependent on us to care for them. Uh, and I will say about my parenting, as imperfect as it has been, um, I've always respected them as little humans. And my second mother, my stepmother, said to me one day when I was really frustrated, I called her up. She and my daddy were living in upstate New York, and I was like, "Look, there's gonna be a box on your porch with some air holes in it. When you get it, open it up quick because your grandchildren are in there." I'm shipping them on a box. Now I wasn't gonna ship the children, I wasn't, but I was so frustrated. And I remember her saying to me, "Thing you need to remember, Natalie, is that they're going to be little for just a little bit of time. Your longest relationship with your children, you're all going to be adults. For most of the time that you're there in your life, you are all going to be adults. You need to develop a relationship with with them, with that knowledge." And I've never forgotten that. That my little people, that went like this. And right now we're all adults together, and we love each other and respect each other. And when they are with me, when I am with them, it is like the best time, because we've kind of grew up together with this mutual respect, in spite of the fact that sometimes I just messed up. But I will say, in terms of things I am proud of, I'm a good mom. I'm a good mom, even if, I was nicer on TV. than I was when I'd be like, "What y'all doing? What y'all doing? I told you to do this thing." Anyhow, you know what? I started a book 20 something years ago. I started writing a book called How I Became the Perfect Parent and Other Folk Tales. And I started it because folk would have seen me on TV, and they're like, and I had a friend say, "You're always so smart. You always say the right thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, I got writers, because I'm not always so smart, and I don't always say the right thing in real life. It is my desire to." So I started writing these stories. And then it turned out that instead of writing about being a parent, I began writing about being a child myself and what that was like. And so much of my parenting is a reaction to my childhood. Some of it is, I remember how my daddy was never too big to apologize to us when he felt he was wrong, when he felt he'd hurt us. And some of it was reactionary. One of my parents, we didn't do well. We just never did well. And the struggle of that relationship caused me to choose to be different with my children, and I have been. And so I have to say, for that parent, I don't know what her intent was, but my reaction to her parenting made me a better parent. And so I thank her for that. Anyway, that's going in a whole different direction. But I think I might share some of those early writings with you guys, maybe as audio recording or readings or something. I never finished the book because as I moved on in parenting with my children, there was some privacy that our family deserved and that they deserved. I'm working out an issue with somebody. It really was nobody else's business, and so I stopped. But now everybody's grown, so we'll see, with their permission, of course. Okay, well, I'm going to work on her hands. I love hands. I know a lot of people find hands really challenging, but to me, they're really wonderful. I find it a little difficult to do it and talk about it because I generally, when I'm painting, try to turn off the critical part of my brain. Because it's just really judgmental and it gets in the way of me doing. It gets in the way. So I'm going to probably turn off the camera now and focus, and I'll let you see what I've done today a little later on.